Do you remember last week when you did that little segment about not having kids, like the 10 reasons not to? That aired on Sunday.
Yeah.
While the day that aired, I had the worst fucking day of my life with my child.
Really?
Yeah. And I immediately changed my tune. And if anybody works for social services and you get any calls about me and my 2.5-year-old screaming at each other, no, you didn't. Mind your business, okay? Just the biggest asshole I've ever seen in my whole life.
Why, what did he do?
He was just being an asshole.
In what way? Like
screaming at me, like just
for what?
For saying no to him. Like he'd want to get on the back of the couch and like hang out the window, and I'm like, Bobby, no, this ain't you. Yeah. This ain't the vibe. And I tried to be a cool parent. I tried to be like, get on his level and try and get him put. Then I forget that he's 2, and
he is so young.
He doesn't have much logic. But I do try to give him the chance to understand and to, you know, follow my lead with stuff like that. And then I end up saying no to him. And then he'll throw the mother of all tantrums. Wow. And then to get through to him or to actually get him to listen, I kind of have to reach his level.
Yeah, so you're like...
So it gets chaotic real quick.
Yeah.
You know?
So you have to be like...
Them old houses are not soundproofed. Absolutely. I'd say my neighbours are terrified of me.
Oh, no, you're allowed to have a bad day.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bad day, Jen, not a bad life.
That's true. Anyway, welcome to the Unpopular Opinion podcast. My name is Jen.
And I'm Carla.
And your reminder, started a month coming up. We have Patreon for €60. You'll get an extra episode every week. It comes out on a Monday. And another extra episode with a friend of the pod, rounding up all of the big moments of the month.
Best time to join, but it's not the only time to join. So you guys will probably be listening to this on the 3rd of July.
Yes.
Can't believe it's July already.
I know, yeah.
Scary.
So you get billed when you first sign up, and then you get billed on the 1st of every month. So to have that biggest gap, start of the month is better financially for you.
But you can sign up whenever you like. Yeah, don't let us put the pressure on you. But sign up. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. You might have a bit of wage there from payday still. You might.
Yeah.
Or you may not.
Not
because inflation. It's gone ridiculous.
I can't afford to live.
No, it's gone fucking ridiculous. Like, specifically in the last 3 weeks.
Really starting, like... Yeah. It's just...
Fuel. Fuck's sake, fuel.
Yeah, well, fuel is wild. It's been wild for a bit of time, but it's just everything now. It's just absolutely everything now. You're like, what? It's
€100 for a trolley full of nothing on your weekly shop. Like...
Yeah.
For condiments. Like, you know, fillers.
Kind of like... Yeah, you couldn't make a substantial meal.
No, like, you know, you're getting kind of the pasta and the potatoes and the rice, but not like no actual ingredients.
Yeah, you're like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're
and
like,
it's still costing you £100.
Yeah, you're like, how did we get here?
Yeah, and then I'm kind of seeing more. I think they're having an emergency thing about the budget this evening, but they're kind of seeing more and more on like groups of anonymous posts saying, "Here, listen, I'm after falling on really hard times. Does anybody know of any kind of places that I could ask for help?" You know what I mean? I'm just after splitting up from my husband to have whatever amount of kids, but they're all anonymous posts, and it's just, I'm seeing more and more of them. I'm just like, what? How? We are a wealthy country. How the fuck is this happening? Like, it's just like, I know. Look, it doesn't take a fucking genius to. It's mad. I'm not gonna fucking. We all know my logic, lads.
Yeah, no.
Print more money.
But like, there's many things that they could be doing. I think it was...
I just feel like we're heading on... a lot of people are saying that we're on our way to another recession. And I don't want to misinform people, but kind of feels like that too.
I think it just means that something has to... I think something does...
Something has to happen.
Something has to give.
Yeah. Can't keep going like this.
It can't keep going like this. People will just simply not be able to survive anymore. And it'll be in such a vast amount that it won't be one of these things where it's like we can just keep shoving everything under the carpet. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. I think though, like Kieran from Crazy House Prices out there doing the Lord's work when it comes to crazy house prices.
Fair play
but oh my god, he's so flat out. I just good on him. But
he does it for the love of it.
Yeah,
like he
has a house now.
He has his house now
and a new baby.
You know, he's flat out trying to fight this. Like,
but he did post one ad yesterday that was in particular. I was like, how do we get here? So it was somebody had posted a room in their house.
Oh, I saw
with
this.
3 single beds in it. And it was advertised as a triple room
For students.
with a private, what did it say? Luxurious bathroom.
Yeah.
You couldn't use the kitchen after 9:30.
In the morning.
So it was like you've plenty of time to make your breakfast, but you have to be out by 9:30.
It said on it, a light breakfast.
Oh, a light breakfast. Sorry, a light breakfast. So you've plenty of time to make a light breakfast until 9:30. The room, there was only the 3 beds in it. You couldn't, like, there was one tiny desk in between
And a
two
table.
of them.
Oh no, a desk and like 2 chairs available. It said available.
Yeah, and it was like perfect
For students.
and it was 800 per person.
Yeah.
So 800 per person in the room, in this triple room, and it was advertised as a triple room.
Yeah.
So obviously, people spotted it, sent it to Kieran. Kieran was like, "This is kind of the epitome of fucking."
Agreed.
This is just. He was like, "It's just gone past the point of madness now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what is going on here?" And the ad changed.
To relate.
The ad changed to a female. Sorry, typo. 1 occupier. We've moved one of the beds.
1 occupier. Lady.
Must be a lady. And then the rest, you still couldn't have your fucking breakfast.
Couldn't fucking use the kitchen.
Still
after
couldn't have a
9:30 in the
heavy,
morning.
whatever a heavy breakfast is. You still couldn't use the kitchen.
So they're just there for the fucking bedroom. Like a hostel. Essentially a hostel.
For 800 per person. So 3 people shoved into a room for nearly £1,000 a month. And somehow someone thought that, do you know what, I think I will make this. I think I will actually do this. Terrifying.
It's fucking terrifying. News just in.
What?
Maxwell. Ghislaine.
Oh, yeah.
20-year sentence.
Not enough for that one.
Absolutely not.
Not enough for
She
her.
won't make it to 20 years. She'll be dead before then.
Do you think so?
Yeah, absolutely. They had her on suicide watch before the thing, so that the same thing didn't happen.
Really? You said that about him?
Yeah, I know, but
It's an
they did that
inside
because
job.
of him. Like,
Did she give up people?
I don't want to fucking confirm or deny because I'll probably get it wrong. I think there's a deal definitely on the fucking table that she doesn't have to give up people, but somebody still has that information. Like, this isn't the end of.
But surely we'd know about it now if she did give up people, because it would be, it's court.
No.
It's public record. That was courts. No,
I don't think so. I'd say she probably. I don't think she's taken the rap for all of those people. I can't see this being the end of it. Like,
no,
she's absolutely not fucking Florence Nightingale saying, you know what, your secrets will die with me. No, absolutely fucking not. Like,
Yeah.
just stop.
no, that's fair. That is
You know?
absolutely fair. Yeah, it's a bit of a. I mean, it's not long enough.
No, it's absolutely not.
No,
That's ridiculous.
but
Yeah.
this is a miracle.
And then Prince Andrew, obviously, they came to that settlement as well.
Oh yeah, what was the top line of that?
She was going after them and she nearly had them and then she settled. Oh. Yeah.
Well, look, I can't judge.
You're not going to win the fucking royal family, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're just not. Like, I'm not going to judge, and to be honest, like,
Meghan fucking Markle can't win them. You're not going to.
yeah, no, that's absolutely fair.
It's not fair. That's the thing. But I mean, this is just the way it is. It's just so fucking glaringly obvious what's going on. It's just like, why even bother? We all fucking know. Like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck's sake.
Speaking of America, I do think we have to talk about Roe versus Wade.
Yes, we do.
So, if you don't know, you probably all do. Roe versus Wade was a landmark decision in the US Supreme Court in which the court ruled that the Constitution of the United States generally protects a pregnant woman's liberty to choose and have an abortion. And this week, it was unfortunately overturned. And now it'll be up to the state to decide. So the state and the state's governors will each have, 50 states. Mm-hmm. They will all be able to decide whether it is legal and how harsh the penalty will be. Mm-hmm. So already we've had 22 states
Red.
ban abortion.
Red.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it is kind of one of these things where no one thought it would happen, but if you actually paid attention, like if you pay attention to all of the stuff that's been happening, of course this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. This has been happening effectively since around 2014, since like the Brexit mumblings and all that other kind of stuff, and then Trump getting in, and you know, it's not getting better for us, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
And there is no other real way of talking about it other than like if this is what's accepted. And I think there's a ton of different opinions out there, and whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, it kind of, we're at this point now where what's next?
Mm-hmm.
Because if this is what we're allowing, especially in America, especially for how many years has it been? 45?
Over 50, I thought.
Was it? Anyway, I can't.
Yeah.
Fast maths, can't do fast maths.
It's been, it's there since the 70s. Like, it's hard to believe that something that liberated women in the 70s has been reversed in 2022.
Yeah. I think 22 banned it immediately. They're expecting 26 overall of all the states, which is more than
half,
which is, again, absolutely terrifying. But we all know that you can't ban abortions. You can only ban safe abortions. So again,
you can only ban legal abortions. It's just gone. It's gone back to what people or women have been doing, even up until this day and age in this country, is having to go elsewhere to get it done. But the penalty in America is going to be so much harder. Wasn't there something about like you can't even fucking give somebody a ride or you'll be complicit?
Yeah, if you're aware of,
if you're aware of it or you're assisting them in any way, you're going to be complicit, and there's going to be penalties for this. Mm-hmm. Like, at least it's absolutely the choice should be there. But in other situations, say in Ireland, for example, as far as I'm aware, if you go abroad for an abortion for whatever reason it may be, you're not punished for it when you come home.
No.
See, that's the different. Like, well, not that's the different. Like I said, you should be given the choice anyway. But when you completely flip it on its head and you start punishing people for it, fucking baffles me. It's just, it's heartbreaking. It's just so heartbreaking. And obviously, when we were trying to repeal the 8, we had the In Her Shoes campaign, and you were reading all these heart-wrenching stories about women who, not even for reasons of rape or incest or, you know, unwanted pregnancies, but for like fetal abnormalities, that the child was not compatible with life, but because the child was still alive, they didn't even have the option of being induced to try to alleviate some of the suffering that was going to be had. Do you know, like, and because that was the rule, the child still kind of had a pulse, so you had to go through with it, and it was the fucking heartache that it caused, and I don't know. It's just a fucking. I'm losing the words. I can't.
It's so
hard. So frustrating.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. I think it's so hard because I'm pro-choice. If you disagree, then this isn't the podcast for you. It's just not ever going to be a thing that you could sit in a room with me all day. It's just
you're never going to change your opinion.
It's just never going to change. I never feel like a man should ever be able to make that great of a decision about women's health, and it is a women's health issue, but it's like, where does it stop? What is next? Because there was a time where we weren't allowed to vote, and there was, you know, these are ongoing issues. But America as a constitution is supposed to be separation of church from state, and the 6 senators that voted have all came out to say they voted with their faith because they believe it's against the Christian religion. Show me where it says that in the Bible, just real quick. But it is one of those, it is kind of one of those things where you're like, how have we got, and we do know how we got here. And it's kind of tough because I feel like Biden got in at a time where he could be doing so much more. Yes, 100%. But it was this has been building.
Yeah, this was going to happen no matter who got in. Yeah.
You know, and people have, like, you know, Michelle Obama obviously came out and wrote her kind of letter to the women of the United States, and then a lot of people were like, well, your husband could have, you know, put in laws that stopped these people getting into the Supreme Court in the first place. Yeah. Because obviously we have more Republicans than you do Democrats in the Senate at the moment. And that is a massive issue because this is how these people will always notoriously vote Conservative. And it is very terrifying to just see these things happen. And we all knew this was coming, but I didn't believe it was actually going to happen.
Yeah.
And now, again, there's so much debate about it, and it's the same fucking blokes time and time again in Twitter threads that are like, yeah, well, if you don't want to have an abortion, don't have sex. And I'm like, if you don't like abortions, then don't have an abortion, Barry. Like, it's that fucking simple. But it's a real tough one to talk about because it's so disheartening.
Yeah, it is. I mean, my heart is broke for women, and especially women who are already who are already pregnant and know that the pregnancy isn't going to end well, and they're fucked.
It's also the fact that, again, you can't ban abortion. You just can't ban abortion. You will ban safe abortions, and that's just how it is. And it's a war on the people who don't have the means to be able to travel out of state. Yeah. And there is a lot of that logic going around as well, where it's like, well, if you need it that badly, you'll find a way to get one. AKA, not my problem.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to say those things when you'll never be in that position. It's so easy to make a decision about something when you're never, ever going to have to make that decision.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why it's so... Well, there's so many... Like, you could dig into the individuals. 2 members of the Senate have been accused of sexual assault. Like, there's lots of other... Yeah. Like, and that is what is interesting. And now there's kind of all this... there's a good few people who are coming out on Twitter now who've been like, well, that's interesting because your son actually made me get an abortion. And all this other kind... Like, there's lots of different things coming out. Like, there was a story as well about... Ivanka Trump and her silence, and then somebody else said that she had brought her to have an abortion, and all this other kind of, like, there's lots of kind of, and that's not the way to go about it. You know what I mean? You're kind of like, it's all this.
See, this is where it gets
outing, and then you're like, you're correct in your thinking, but you're not. This isn't a good thing to be doing either.
No, this is where it gets really technical and really kind of petty and vindictive as well.
Yeah.
And we kind of take our minds off the main fucking issue and the serious issue and the people who are actually going through it at the moment. Because obviously now you're getting them people who are like, oh yeah, well, when masks were mandatory, it was all my choice, my body. That kind of, like they start bringing out all these fucking technical bullshit things. I think I saw an article somewhere today that somebody is trying to get it seen to that there will be not a law, it's a different word for it, I can't think of it at the minute, but like mandatory vasectomies, because if we're going to be forced to have this control over our own bodies, then they should as well. That kind of thing, like all this fucking ridiculousness from the fallout of something that's a really serious issue. And can it be appealed? I don't think it can. I think that's it. Like, what the fuck happens next? Like, how?
Yeah, the years and years and years of work that it will try to get back into. And look, it is one of those things. Me and Jen have a very lighthearted podcast. Like, we don't generally talk about these things because, number one, we're not fucking prime time.
No.
Never have been, never will be.
No.
But it is something that it has to be marked because at this point, what's next?
I know. And I'm seeing videos of just women comedians like dressing up as like the Handmaid's Tale and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what a fucking sad state of affairs that's actually.
And here's where we're at.
This is where we're at. And
it's so frustrating because it's like, it is honestly like, even in my stomach, right, like there's a fire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just so fucking frustrated. And I don't even live there.
I know.
But I'm so angry.
So angry for the women.
At the ripple effect at every single, and the women that are being affected and everything that's going to come from this. And I just hate hearing the fucking shite talk from people.
Yeah.
You know, when you're like, I don't want to sit down. And again, if you're like, what's that saying? I always get it wrong. It's like, when you're fighting with a wall, essentially.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at. But at the same time, you're like, this shouldn't be up for a debate. Like, I can't believe that we're still.
It shouldn't be.
I think that I can't
because we've repealed we've done this fucking fight before.
How are we here?
Yeah.
Are we here again?
Yeah. And I mean, look,
and the issue is obviously there's plenty of countries around the world where it isn't legal.
I was just going to say
that we have to do.
I was just going to say that.
But how do we go from it being legal to being like, actually, do you know what?
Yeah, no, it's not anymore.
Up to whatever governor you have and how he's feeling and what his religion says. Even though his religion doesn't say that, he's going to go right ahead and say that it does.
Yeah.
God bless.
But that's what I was going to say. Look, it's not as if the whole world is perfect. And again, we are concentrating on the West, and there's fucking, the world is not, it's fucked. Like, I don't like thinking about it because it's just so, I get so annoyed. That's why I tend to try and keep things fucking lighthearted, because if you don't, you'd just be in a fucking hole all day. But like that, it's the difference between having the choice one day and not the next. And it's completely out of your control, and it's being made by predominantly men.
Look, as I said before, this podcast is a light and whatever else, but I do think it's really important to mark certain things that are going on in the world. There's plenty of resources out there. There's plenty of places that you can go for more information and more support out there. But I do, again, think that if you are someone who is, I suppose, struggling with a decision or struggling with their decision, that there's a ton of great free resources out there. There's a lot of really good stuff that people are trying to do for each other, particularly on the internet, especially on Twitter. I've seen a lot of people, because there's all these little things like, that they're talking about when it comes to sentencing and punishment for catching people who have had an abortion or assisted. And there is a ton of information out there, particularly I saw a lot of stuff about cycle apps, period tracking apps, anything along those lines. Like there's more to it than kind of meets the eye. Yeah. So I will say, get your head stuck in if this is something. There is plenty of help out there for you if this is something that has affected you, if you're an American listener or if you're a listener in general who just is, I suppose, interested in knowing more. So we're talking about things that we thought would take off,
but flopped,
but didn't. Look, we'd be here all bleeding day.
We would. We would indeed.
Top of the flops, if you will.
Top of the... Carl, I like it.
I feel like that was a thing, no?
Oh, top of the pops, for sure.
Top of the pops was, but I feel like it was like a thing in a Ms. magazine or something like top of the flops.
No. But it's very good. If it maybe was.
Jen's like,
I'm very impressed.
Jen's like, oh my God, you should get into copywriting. You're incredible.
The pinnacle.
You are amazing.
This is crazy.
This is great work, Carla. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we're kind of talking about like flops that we all remember. There's bigger ones that, like, I put up a post, like some sporadic ones. One that's quite recent is the Morbius film.
The what?
Do you know anything about this?
No.
So Morbius is it a Marvel? I think it might be a Marvel. Terrible, absolutely terrible. What Jared Leto is Morbius.
Oh God! Anything with Jared Leto in the flops, I feel.
Yeah, it's a Marvel. It's based on he's like a vampire superhero.
Oh God.
Yeah, very bad. But it was like the biggest flop that I think they've ever had.
Right.
But Twitter kind of, it was so bad it was good.
Oh, so cult,
one of those things. So it's kind of already gotten cult status.
Yeah.
So it flopped. It only made 260K in the box office.
I mean, I wouldn't turn it down.
No, but I mean,
for a Marvel film.
Yeah, for a Marvel film, that is the film that flopped twice.
Yeah.
So it came out and it was so bad. Again, people were like, it's Morbin time. Everyone was just giving it loads, giving it a bit of welly on Twitter. It was very funny. And people kind of brought it back to the front. So then there was this campaign, I'd say like 2 months ago, like 2-3 months ago.
Yeah, okay, very recent.
Super recent. And because because people were going so like hard for it, they re-released it again.
Oh God. Right.
And everyone was like, no, that's not what we meant.
Okay.
So yeah, really it's supposed to be really cheesy. Like people were just rinsing through it. And then Jared Leto tried to get in on it.
Oh no. He's the reason for it.
Yeah, and he kind of tried to do like,
oh God.
He tried to do like a video, like a TikTok. Oh, it's really
what, like a Shia LaBeouf type of fucking stunt kind of.
This kind of thing. Yeah. I don't know. Very, very odd.
I feel like anything that he's in since what was that, Dallas? Was he in Dallas Buyers
Dallas
Club?
Buyers Club, yeah.
That was really good, and then that was it.
Well, it kind of came out that he's a fucking horrible person.
He's a fucking weapon on set, and he's a method.
One of those kind of, and he was so fucking strange when he was doing what was it, Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and that flopped, I think, because of him. It
flopped. It was a very jerky storyline, I will say that.
It was so bad.
It was very odd.
Like, in comparison, and I'm sorry, right? Don't come for me. Marvel, like DC, in comparison to Marvel, like DC could never, like, even Superman. Never. Superman. We watched that the other night.
Man of Steel.
Did
you watch all three?
I don't know fucking which one I think it was the first one.
Watched Justice League?
I watched...
How many did you watch, Jen? How many?
I just watched Man of Steel the other night. It's still fresh in my mind. It was just very jumpy. I was like, am I missing something here?
Yeah, it wasn't the best produced, yeah.
Very bad, like.
Yeah.
I was kind of going, what the fuck is going on here?
Spoiler alert, why does the dad always have to die?
So weird.
I know, very strange. But yeah, so Morbius was kind of one of the more recent Liberty Flaps. So I did put
Liberty Flaps.
For Liberty Flaps. For Liberty Flaps.
We should have done a top 10. That would have
we should have done it. To be honest, I want to revisit this when we have.
We'll say this is 10 and then we'll see how far we get. And then continue it.
One of our beloveds.
Okay.
Cats the movie.
Oh, fuck's sake. That was earmarked to be.
Well, Jason Derulo earmarked it as his Oscar winner.
He was the Jared Leto of Cats. Like,
he fully
we knew
thought,
it was going to flop when we heard Jason was in it.
Yeah, but he was like, he's been like kind of, but in a way, kind of earnest in these interviews, being like, this it was supposed to be. Like,
yeah. Even he's
like,
shocked.
Yeah, like, he was like, no, this was supposed to be the musical of all musicals adaptation.
Yeah. Adaptation. Yeah, see,
this
is what's they're ruining stuff, like doing the live actions, they're ruining shit left, right, and centre. And I don't know when they're going to learn.
No, I really
like
don't.
The Little Mermaid, it's coming out next year, and
I think that might be good because it's got Halle Bailey, and she's an excellent singer.
There was a trailer came out for it. Didn't show much. They just showed like shots of the sea. Not even a flounder in sight, and just real like,
that kind of
like just real. Made it look real mysterious and kind of dark and stuff like that. I was like, this is going to be a load of shite. They're building it up too much already. Do you know what I mean? Like, remember the Lion King live action? Shy.
Oh yeah.
Ruined it. Jungle Book ruined it.
Yeah, Jungle Book now. We don't have to. Tarzan, yes, makes sense.
Absolutely.
Makes sense. Yes, I get it.
I feel like the ones that weren't that big when they were animations should be brought back to life
because it's like something didn't hit in the animation. Let's give it let's give it a good full go.
Yeah,
something that hit in the animation. We don't need to
leave it as is.
Yeah, you know, like just leave it be.
Yeah,
like with the Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, we did Maleficent. Made more sense.
Yes,
you know, it's like yes, let's play up. Do Ursula.
Oh yeah.
Do Ursula
like they do in Wicked, you know, like the Wizard of Oz. Wicked is about the witch.
About Elphaba. Yeah.
Do you know, it's like that's a good way to do.
Get a cool side character. Develop her plot.
Absolutely,
these are her plot. Yeah, let's do it. Michael Jackson's Invincible album. You fucked my world. You know you did.
I didn't like his later stuff.
No, it was very bad.
Very bad.
It was his final album.
This is we're number 7, by the way.
2001. Okay, it's number 7. Invincible by Michael Jackson. This was 2001. It had 10 million sales and number 1 in 12 countries, which doesn't seem like that much of a flop. No. But Thriller did 109 million. Dangerous did 32 million. Bad did 30 million. Off the Wall 20 million. High Story 20 million. And then that's counted as 40 million as it's a double album. Okay, that's fine. It cost 30 million to make.
Fuck.
This album cost 30 million to make.
For what?
Because he recorded apparently 50 to 87 songs.
Jesus.
Using different producers in 10 different studios. So each day he booked 3 studios simultaneously because he didn't know which one he'd feel like using until he woke up that day.
Right. No wonder he was wrecked.
Sony thought, like, grand, that's fine.
It's Michael Jackson.
It's Michael Jackson, it's fine. They planned 25 million in marketing to boost the sales figures. But then the company got into a fight with who owned the earlier albums.
Right.
So then Michael Jackson refused to tour.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then Sony, with him refusing to tour, then Sony said he's going to get fucked and wouldn't use the money put aside for advertising. So the album just flippity-flopped.
Flippity-flap.
Flippity-flip. Yeah.
Right, okay.
The next one, this is high up because this, to me, I feel like there's twists and turns and absolutely nobody is going to give a fuck other than the people who know about this.
Okay.
Right? So, it was actually a listener suggestion. And she wrote in saying, Shadowhunters, the book series was incredible. The series, the actual movie or TV series was tragic. The movie was even worse. So I want to talk about this a little bit because this, to me, I didn't actually know that Shadowhunters came from The Mortal Instruments. So The Mortal Instruments was a book series that was written, it kind of started off, the person who wrote it, why does that say Ireland? Oh, it said released in Ireland. So I was like, it certainly wasn't an Irish film. Cassandra Clare, who wrote it, got kind of famous off her writing from writing Harry Potter fan fiction.
Right.
So you know when it's like we're going back and we're going back and we're going back again. So stay with me, right? Mortal Instruments is a book series.
Yeah, okay, right.
Okay, so Mortal Instruments is a book series.
Okay.
The author got her like start by writing Harry Potter fan fiction that got really, really popular.
Okay.
I always find it weird when a writer gets big off fan fiction. It's like, you know, the way that 50 Shades of Grey is Twilight reimagined as BDSM.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of, there's a good few of them that float around. A few people that started on like Wattpad, but this is like pre-Wattpad kind of thing. So Cassandra Clare, she wrote The Mortal Instruments. It's like fantasy, kind of sci-fi fantasy-ish books. I read them. I thought they were fine. People went wild for them, thought they were amazing. The main character, her name's Clary.
Oh, that's annoying.
Jesus. And then I remember them being like, guess what? We're doing a fucking film. And I was like, okay, let's see how we get on. They cast Lily Collins as Clary.
I like Lily Collins.
Your one who played Cersei, she was her ma.
Her ma?
Yeah, I know. Lena Headley. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Robert Sheehan
I
was
thought
in
you were
it.
talking about fucking... Oh,
No,
Cersei.
Cersei,
Why
not-
am I thinking the daughter?
Not Dragon Woman.
No, not Daenerys. The Stark girl, the younger one.
Oh,
The
Sophie
redhead.
Turner.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what? How's she the ma?
How's she the ma?
Lena Turner is very aesthetically pleasing to look at.
Who?
Leah
Sophie Turner.
No.
Lily Collins.
Leah Dunham.
Lena Dunham. Lena Dunham.
Lena Dunham. Yeah. The ma. She's lovely.
Lena
looking.
Dunham is from Girls. Lena Headley is the one that's
Lena
in it.
Headley. That's who I'm talking about. Fuck, I don't know her name. I'm talking about your one that you just mentioned. She's very nice. Fucking go on.
No,
This
very
is
good
too
looking.
niche, actually, by the way. This isn't in the countdown.
This is in the countdown.
It's not too
It
niche.
is because it flopped 3 times. It is in the fucking countdown, Jen. It is,
We
right?
haven't even touched on 3D yet. Go
Robert
on.
Sheehan's in it.
Yeah, okay.
Right, he's Simon. He's the mate, and he's got an American accent. I remember it's the first time I'd seen him out of Misfits in an American accent, and this is supposed to be his big break. And who did they cast as the villain? Only another Irishman, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Oh,
And
that's
I
a good villain.
Nearly fucking fell over myself. I was like, here
You love
we go, here we fucking go. And the movie was a flop.
Yeah.
And it was a great cast. Jamie Campbell Bower, they cast him as like the main love interest guy, but he is too serious of an actor for this bullshit.
Right.
You know? So I was kind of like, yes, but no. You know,
Right.
this kind of, I was like, how are you going to, okay, watch the film. The film was truly, it was poor.
Okay.
But I don't think that the books were that good either. I'm sorry.
Right.
Sorry to you guys. I didn't ever think that the books were that fantastic. I think she had a point, she had a plot, the fantasy was there. There was ideas. I never thought that the ideas were, fully.
Yeah.
Anyway, I read them when I was like 22. So very long time ago. So that happened. They were so excited. They thought that this was going to be like, what was a big well, not Harry Potter, but they thought it was going to be a massive movie book.
One of them things.
Kind of things. So they had actually signed for movie 2.
Oh.
So
right.
they had signed for movie 2 before they'd ever release movie 1 because they just were like, lads, this is a hole in one.
This is Narnia.
Yeah, like this is where like it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Which obviously very bad.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where we got. I don't actually think that they got movie 2 out of it. I think it was cancelled. Yeah. So on Rotten Tomatoes, it got 13%.
Wow.
I actually almost want to rewatch it.
Do you know what? Just a little side note to that, because I was only thinking this the other day. Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes.
The higher you score, the better the movie is. The lower you score. I know, it used to confuse me.
Such a fucking negative connotation, to that name.
Yeah.
I would have thought, like, if it was a low score, you did really well.
You did well. No, Rotten. Yeah. I'm like, Rotten Tomatoes.
Such a weird fucking,
a real weird thing. Anyway, they thought, do you know what? It shouldn't have been a movie. We'll make a series.
Oh, God.
And they went again.
They do that a few times. Yeah,
they went again.
Things.
They did 3 seasons. They recast the whole thing. Fuck me.
Well, they weren't getting Jonathan Rhys-Meyers for a fucking series. Like,
I don't know one of these people other than Sarah Hyland from Modern Family.
Yeah,
she played the Sealy Queen. I can't even remember what that fucking character was. But yeah, look, very.
Okay.
Sorry, I just saw a part of the plot that I totally forgot about. Catherine McNamara came back as Clary Frey. I don't know what else she's been in. I'm having a look here. Don't know. Pretty
Clary. Such a stupid name.
Clary. So yeah, very bad. Flop on all accounts. I just thought it was really interesting because it was like, it came from this to go to this to go to that.
Yeah, that's happened with a few things. Like, yeah.
And look, it continued to flop.
Yeah.
It was a flippity flop.
Blibber blur.
So
Flur, flur, flur.
I do think this is worth a mention. I had a listener who said, I'm speaking too soon, but I thought monkeypox was going to pop off.
Same.
Is that our number 6?
That's our number 5 now.
5. Why was that? It was Shadowhunter. Oh yeah, I suppose Mortal Instruments 6. And then Shadowhunters. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah. So monkeypox didn't really. No, we're not.
It didn't really.
We're not there. They're trying to rename it though. Maybe is that why it didn't pop off? They're like, just name it.
I think it's better branding. They're like, we need to market this better.
Well, I think chickenpox stuck, but monkeypox just wasn't doing it for them.
Yeah, it's like, what's more terrifying? It's like, what can we make hippo pox? How about that?
I think, it was who they were. I must look up and see what they're at, where they're at with that.
Where they're at, was it like A19110?
Something like that.
2, 5, 6, 7?
Yeah, something like
We won't remember that.
Yeah, no. They were
I only
just
remember COVID because it was coronavirus.
Yeah. And I mean, you didn't hear the fucking end of it, like, did you, for a couple of years? 3D, I want to mention. I'm going to put this as number 4.
3D television, one of our listeners said. I don't remember this.
Do you know?
No, I don't remember
this
3D television.
The next HD. This was the next.
What are we on now, though?
4K.
Are we not on the other OLED? We're on OLED now.
Yeah, whatever. I don't fucking know what we're at.
Yeah.
The telly is a telly.
Do you remember the curved ones?
The curved ones. They were another thing that kind of flopped. We'll put that into that same category.
Yeah. TVs.
The
TVs
so,
flopped.
Do you remember 3D glasses used to be just the red and the blue and the cardboard, and you go to the cinema and that was a real novelty thing?
Yes.
And that, like, and then there's a few rides in like the American places, like the Disneyland and the Universals, they're like 3D as well, you know, them kind of things. And they're all real novelty, like once in a while.
Well, you're on the topic of the glasses, though. I do have to bring you to the point. Do you remember we evolved and we got the plastic glasses and the UCIs?
That's what I was about to mention.
And everybody wore them out.
Like, why? How did they work, though?
We were so deprived.
Yeah. We were like getting free glasses going into the fucking picture house. Oh yeah, thank you. Thanks very much.
Where they said we next night out. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very sleek and very chic.
I have to say I never wore them out. I don't know who you were hanging around with, but it was a novelty going in, and I was like, how do these work? They're not blue. They're not blue and red.
They have to be blue and red.
Because you couldn't wear the blue and red ones out.
No.
It was it fucked you up, like. But it wasn't that. It was the two different colours, and that's how we knew how 3D worked with them. And they brought in the ones that looked like sunglasses. Everybody got a bit freaked out. We're like, I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
I remember going to see Tangled in the cinema in 3D. One of the best moments of my life. But I was like, I don't know why that just didn't stick. It Was it because they made it so it's expensive? Maybe
What, 3D? I think it was just like they developed the technology quicker, and then we went into the HD, the Ks, and all that other kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I do remember that you had to have a specific type of DVD player. I think you had to have a Blu-ray.
You had to have oh my god.
To have a 3D one. And then you had to have a 3D TV or one that was compatible with 3D. And like not everybody, and then there was only a few 3D channels. So it just not everybody got on board to make it work, I don't think.
No.
And then the fact that
I love that you're like, it had to be a joint effort.
It had to be a joint effort. And
rejected.
You know, there was a few people that just weren't having it and they let the crowd down. But also, I think it was the accessory that you had to have. Like if you didn't have your 3D glasses and you're trying to look at something in 3D, it's never going to work. It's double vision. So there was just too many aspects against it, I feel.
It was like things are supposed to be, to bring them home, they're supposed to be easy, aren't they?
Yeah.
You don't really want to have to set up the Blu-ray DVD and then the this and then the that. And then a lot of things were incompatible, weren't they?
Yeah.
It was like if you just got a normal
telly, it wasn't
or a normal DVD, it wasn't going to... Yeah,
it depended on what year your fucking HDMI lead was. And,
oh,
you know,
my God. Do you remember the fucking HDMI lead?
They're still a thing, like...
Oh, Christ.
They still are. Like, if you want to have your Xboxes and all that sort of shit, it's still going.
The next thing flopped so badly, I don't even remember that it happened.
Right.
E.T., the video game.
This is number 3. This cannot be number 3. Sorry, no. Get that out of here. There's bigger things that
took them years to get a deal. Like Steven Spielberg was like, "Oh, I'm making money, baby." Like it took them years to get a deal.
I don't ever remember.
Video game, the summer in 1982.
What the
It took
fuck are they playing it on a brick
to create.
5 weeks.
5 full weeks. No, do you remember back then Pac-Man and all that stuff? It was really like yeah.
That's what Pac-Man. That's the noise.
Thank you.
Just so
Thank you for
fucking
that.
annoying.
I nearly forgot and then I didn't. Thank you for that. Fucking idiot.
Wow. That's so fucking annoying. Jesus Christ. No, get that out of the list. Pick something else.
Do you want Hulk Hogan's Pastamania instead?
Oh, where are you finding this shit? How about number 3?
Kanye West's VMA speech is here. I don't think that was.
No,
it was a flop, but I wouldn't.
That's not everybody thought that was going to be fucking huge.
I put on my Do Not Disturb and it took that. Oh shit!
Oh, it must be very important today if it broke through the Do Not Disturb.
It really did break my Do Not Disturb. That be breaking through.
It does actually. It's very smart. If somebody rings you twice, it breaks through because it's an emergency situation.
That's just my sister being like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Me and Pepin are just chilling on the couch. What are you doing?
I can totally hear her saying that.
Have you eaten?
Oh, fucking hell. Do you know what? We have a top 3 to do. I think we should do it next week. No, I think we should do it next week.
We will. That's what I mean. We'll do it in with the
so we'll put loads of effort in. Yeah, absolutely. She's fucking looking at like E.T. the video game.
You gave 0. I gave
you
a
0.
series.
Give you 3D. That was worth 4 of yours.
Yeah, it was worth 4 points.
Yeah, it was worth 4 of yours. Fuck off.
I've got a really good song. I'm really excited.
Okay, and I have an unpopular opinion. I write my own popular opinions in my notes. And what I have written here is microfiber me bollocks.
Yeah, they are tricky to use.
They're so annoying.
They are. I feel like they're lint catchers. Call them lint catchers 3000s and we're making money, baby.
They dry nothing. Though. I'm talking about the microfiber like hair wrap towels for after.
Oh, they're shite. Yeah, they just lock moisture in.
Yes.
Yeah, they lock moisture in.
They do the opposite and dry your hair.
A t-shirt is the best for your hair. The soft cotton
yeah,
of a
I
t-shirt.
know. It's just the fucking washing after it. Like, I'd like to use a towel a few times. Give me...
You can use a t-shirt. You just have to pop it back on.
I know. I just don't...
Get 2-3 uses out of a t-shirt.
I'm not used to... It's too big of a change for me to just make a quick decision on that.
Prefer to complain on that one. Cool.
Yeah. I would much rather use a crispy fucking towel.
Okay.
Me wet hair than...
But you can do that also.
But that's my unpopular opinion. That's why I'm saying it. And I hope people agree with me because microfiber is shit.
Use a t-shirt. God bless.
It's absolutely shit. Have you got a tune?
I do. Carla's Stomper of the Week. This song is...
Can I put this up or are you
put
playing it
that up
already?
Yeah, you can put that up. I have it kind of moved forward a little bit, so I don't really know where it's going to start.
Right.
It's Zeddy Diplo and Miguel. I love Miguel.
I feel like I'm going to love him. I don't know who he is, but I like his name. I bet you when you played this, I'll be like, I like that.
Yeah, but this isn't his... Normally he's R&B, and this is him doing a bit of the kind of...
Latino?
No,
Latino. You know I love me some Latino.
It's not that.
Okay.
But it's a real summer song, and it makes me real nostalgic, and I don't know why. It just makes me think of Vegas and getting ready for a night out and being so excited, but also like a festival. I don't know. I just love this.
Play the song, will you? I'm trying to fucking give it justice. Yeah.
You know,
it's a bit of everything in it.
It's like nostalgia.
Yeah. Kind of like an end of summer song.
That also. I don't want Love Island to ruin it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's real gorge.
It is gorge, yeah. I agree with you on that one. Yeah. I like that.
Guys, start listening immediately.
Yeah, you could use that on many different occasions, that song. I agree with you on that one. Well done. You did well this week.
I know. I was only thinking actually in the cow the other day.
Yeah.
That I was like, the cow. That I was like, I do Stomper of the Week, and Jen sits there with the fucking audacity to think that she's like Zane Lowe or something to be like, don't like this one. Yeah. It's called Carla's Stomper of the Week, how dare.
Yeah, but it's also an opinionated podcast. I give my opinions.
I didn't ask for it. It's supposed to be fun, Jen.
Yeah. No, I'm still going to give you my opinions.
No, I don't care.
You didn't care much for my hate for microfiber there, now I'll say. I'll call you out on that. You were like, get over it, bitch, use a t-shirt.
I agreed, and then you were like, I just prefer to use the towel. And I was like, you have the option.
Yeah. I just felt like it was very...
Okay, I'm sorry.
I felt like you were just pushing off my concerns there. Just
I wasn't listening to you. I wasn't... Okay.
She was trying to line up our shit tune. No, that was a really good tune. Right, thanks Vinny for listening. We will be back. We will return with our top 10. No, not top
3.
Top 3.
Top 3 flops of all flops.
How do I have a podcast? Jesus. Top 3 flops. If you have any opinions on flops, things that you thought were going to be fucking huge, maybe you invested in something and then it flopped.
Oh my god, yeah, that's a good one.
Do you know, like, maybe you're like, it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
I fucking wish I had known how big TikTok was going to be. I'd have given that a $5. I definitely would have given that a $5.
I wish I gave money to Amazon right before the Penny D. Amazon shares, because everybody started making Zala bills, y'all.
It's fucking hindsight, isn't it? It's bleeding marvellous. Right, give us your opinions. Yeah, we have all the links of the stuff down below. We also have an anonymous box. Loads of links in the description. Go and have a little look at them. And thanks, Mel, for listening. We love you very much, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.